well, I guess it is time for a new video in my Why I Hate Social Media series, and the next dude in the chopping block is none other than Facebook. The goal of this video is to describe why I'm gonna stop using Facebook other than stay in touch with loved ones, making a page for a new business venture that I'm doing, or just simply to remind myself of birthdays. Because it is a site that I've been using on and off since I was 16 over the course of different accounts, but like a raccoon to a dumpster, I always kept coming back. And I think it's even the first social media site that I used even before Instagram took over my attention span, and that's why it has a special place in my heart, but not in a good way. So buckle up, strap in, because these are the reasons why I hate Facebook and why I'm going to stop using it. I think the main issue why I have some disdain for Facebook is just the way that it operates. Let's start with the political posts. Why does it seem like everybody on Facebook is suddenly an expert on everything from foreign policy, the economy, diet, just politics, any kind of just controversial topic? It seems like everybody wants to give their opinion, and that's just so damn annoying. Yeah, they aren't. They aren't experts because all of the opinions you form by scrolling through social media are curated by an algorithm that subscribes to your biases and just make you repeat the same things over and over that you already believe in. And also everybody believes that by sitting on their ass for 2 hours scrolling through social media and then just regurgitating them in the form of memes, of posts, of comment sections, they think they're going to make some kind of change. Are you really kidding me with this? And this type of posting ranges on everybody from people cosplaying as intellectuals like I did in the past, or just people who think they're going to make some kind of change by changing their profile picture to whatever current thing is happening right now, and posting their 8th meme in a row against the current government who's also siphoning our tax dollars just like the last government. But yeah, Brenda, putting a filter over your face is not going to stop war crimes. Let's be real, none of us really knows how the world works, but posting all day on social media, begging for likes, and trying to make yourself seem relevant while the only people who look at your posts are friends and families who are honestly a little concerned over all the political stuff you've been putting on. It's just so dumb and so desperate, and I feel like I'm way past beyond that. I feel like it's just stupid at this point. Just shouting into the void, begging for likes or an attention just seems so desperate and kind of annoying. And look, this is not to say that social issues don't matter, and if you have something that you're passionate about, that you shouldn't raise your voice, you shouldn't share things to friends and make your opinions heard. I feel like it's important to discuss these issues, but I just feel like the current climate in social media, the way that it operates just value quantity over quality, and I think that's a bad thing. I just feel like it distracts from the main way that people should consume this information to process things in long-term ways, such as books, discussing it with people, like actually face-to-face discussion of real issues. I feel like that's much more effective than just sitting and thinking you're making any change by posting a meme or by criticizing something or sharing. It's just, I feel like unless you have some actual influence in your life, for example, if you're actually famous, if you manage a page that has a lot of followers, I feel like there are valid reasons and ways that you can use Facebook and Instagram, any kind of social media site. But, just seeing regular friends, family posting stuff like this, it just makes me so annoyed. It's just kind of like, why are you wasting your time in this way? And that's something that I did before. That's something that I also am guilty of. So I'm criticizing myself and my past self for this kind of behavior. But that's kind of why I moved away from, trying to make political videos or things that I think were important just posting all day. And I just feel like it's so dumb to do that. Next comes the comment section rings. So this is where people just get together to fight in comment sections nonstop. And this is just a continuation of the last thing. It's just so stupid and so dumb. I don't know why people do this. It's just the whole desperate need for validation of their own feelings. This is the only place where people post a Bible verse and then the next moment fight you in the comment section. Because Facebook, I feel like it's kind of like Twitter in a way. These are the people who spend hours fighting strangers like they're getting paid for it, like some kind of digital gladiator. And while their main life is falling apart. It just doesn't make any sense. Why you spend so much time doing this? And this is something that I didn't really do before. I wasn't really that big into comment sections. I'll usually comment stuff for positive things, but just fighting a stranger just seems so bizarre to me.
It is called the scientific method, and it is what created the computer that you are typing your half-witted conspiracy theories on. What do you think about that?
And I don't know, I feel like right now, as I get more cynical and older and wiser, and, well, I don't think I'll ever be as wise as I ever want to be. That's the part of personal growth. But I feel like there's just so many unnecessary things that you look at and you're like, why did I engage in these behaviors? And I feel like this is part of it, but luckily I never reached that low. But just seeing it every day on Facebook when I used to use it more was draining, just absolutely draining. Look, if you're going to argue with somebody, just argue with yourself. Like literally, just take a look in the mirror, stop for 5 seconds and think, what are the best ways that I can change myself for the better? How can I go outside and touch some grass? And that starts with, I guess, deleting Facebook. That would be a good first step. And in a way, these types of posts, comments, and behavior made me realize that Facebook is just a distant relative of Reddit and Twitter. And if you watch some of my previous videos, you know how I feel about those sites. But Facebook is unique in the way that this slime materializes in a way that involves your parents, your relatives, your old teachers, and friends from childhood. And it's so bizarre how people post about how, I don't know, a conspiracy about how Joe Biden is a robot while their Aunt Gertrude is looking at the posts. And I don't know how people do that. I just feel like this is just a desensitization. What did you say? Desensitization of our culture and how we're just desensitized to the way that people post and people just engage in conversations when there's a screen behind them. Facebook is the place where you write a 3-paragraph post about the president in the morning. Then in the afternoon, you take a BuzzFeed quiz of, oh, what kind of sandwich am I? And then in the night, you post a selfie like, oh, I hate Mondays with, the background. And, it's just like, I don't know. Like, I don't judge people who they want to do whatever they want. This is more a way to judge myself and past behaviors and just like the kind of stuff I used to post and just frankly, all the time I wasted. And I just hate that. And that extends to other social media sites. And frankly, Instagram, the one that I'm using the most right now. As someone who's been through these types of behaviors before, I can empathize with people. I know when, there's a cause that you really care about, something that really matters to you. But I feel like instant gratification just hijacked this entire system. I admit it, I also want some of my opinions to be heard. That's kind of the main reason why I'm making this video in the first place, because I'm looking to minimize my life, to just like cut a lot of stuff that I don't need, focus on the things that matter. And, going through some of my accounts, I realized, I don't really use Facebook that much over the last year. But I was like, did I ever really need it? That's something that I also wonder sometimes. I feel like YouTube is the most valuable social media site for me because it allows me, for example, in this video, I'm trying to express an idea in a long form version. I'm gonna, I wrote this video, I'm gonna edit it later. While I'm editing, I can cut some stuff that I don't like to say. Like I think, oh, okay, this is not a good idea. But the way that, for example, I'm gonna take also the example of Twitter that I ranted about like a year ago. When people post and they write something and they just hit send, like it doesn't give you enough time to reflect on, hey, what am I saying? So you can just post nonstop. And I feel like that does something to our minds in a way. It's kind of like the same way people engage in news. They read news articles through TikTok. They watch a 30-second clip and that's all the information they get. Instead, if you read a book or a topic that, let's say, take whatever subject is important to you, like whatever, like a war that's going on right now, the war in Ukraine or Palestine, Israel. I feel like if you read a book, you get more information. You get to engage with ideas a lot more deeper than if you just saw a 30-second TikTok showing whatever propaganda is running around in, even with influencers. I feel like even in politics, influencers get too much of a, more importance than they really have because they are still focused on 30-second clips and it doesn't give you enough time to really process these ideas. So I feel like those are my 2 cents. Just try to focus on long form videos and long form books, even like small documentaries on YouTube. They're much more valuable than whatever nonsense is going on in short form content. But now I want to go over the main reason why I want to just stop using Facebook forever, like why I think it's just a bad site. Do I really need another site in my life? Because I already use Instagram. I'm already the kind of person who just scrolls through it like 2 hours in the morning and just time passes without me even noticing. And that's something I'm actively working on and something I actively encourage people to work on is just like that social media addiction, the instant gratification. That's something that plagues our lives. Or other times I just like post stories. I feel like the reason I post so much stories is because I want people to, look at stuff that I'm doing. Like, oh, people would think this is cool. But sometimes I feel like just kind of like a baby with keys jangling in front of them. Like, do I really need all these sites? Like, I need Facebook, Twitter. Not really. And I don't know. I just feel like this overstimulation in our lives and culture is driving me nuts sometimes. I actually feel jealous of the people who grew up before social media. Imagine just sitting in a room and feeling bored and being alone with your thoughts. Like, not taking a phone, not wondering what's going on in social media, not like instantly reaching to your pocket, just thinking, like just focusing on the moment. Is that really lost, or can we take it back? So yeah, this is something I'm actively working on, and I encourage other people to do, because the last thing I want is to turn 30, and because I'm 25 right now, and then just wonder about all the time I wasted just scrolling through social media. Is that really worth it? Is that something that, fills my time with something new? And I guess it's not as easy to say, oh, just delete Facebook, just delete your accounts, because a lot of people use them for business, they use them for networking. I personally use Facebook, Instagram to keep in touch with old friends. That is very valuable in my life. And so it's not as easy to say, okay, just delete it. So I got to come up with better strategies in order to manage my distractions. Because when you see the 5th reel in a row just showing the same stupid jokes over and over and over, then you know that you did something wrong there. So yeah, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to delete most of my posts on Facebook, because I just want to leave it clean, because I'm not going to touch it save for, messaging people, or, staying in touch with people that I value a lot in my life. And sometimes Facebook is the only way to contact them. But yeah, I think it's better to just do like a whole cleanup of the entire thing and just focus on that, because I straight up deleted Twitter and Reddit because I figured that they didn't give me any value. I wasn't really keeping in touch with any people through there. So here, I feel like it's more important to just focus on, trying to clean up the way that I used to think, the way that I used to post. And I guess it seems kind of weird to talk about it like that way, but sometimes I just feel like social media has that kind of grip in our lives now. If you were Gen Z or Gen Alpha, living in the 21st century, and that's why it's important to think about these things and the value they're going to leave for our future. So yeah, for the longest time, I used to just post stuff like this. For example, this is the King Charles picture. I would just say like, oh, this is without exaggeration the most horrible painting I've seen in my life. And I try to, I usually post stuff like this on Instagram, but I've realized, like, why do I do this on 2 different sites? So I'm gonna delete this one right here. I just gotta start moving stuff to the trash, cleaning it up forever. This one, shitting on Bad Bunny, yeah, trash. For example, with this one, I would just say things like this, like, oh, in 2024, I want to plan to read every day. I want to read more books, and that's good. That's not that bad, but I feel like instead of just announcing to the world that I'm going to do something, I feel like it's much more productive to just go ahead and do it. I feel this is the thing with social media. A lot of people just, post things like, oh, I got all these projects going on, or just like humble bragging. That's what they call it. Like you brag about stuff, but you do it in a way that doesn't seem like you're bragging. When I say all this, I'm just criticizing my old self. Like, if you think you're doing these kind of things, you can apply it to your life. Once again, like, the main reason I made this video is, well, yeah, kind of to shit on Facebook, shit on social media, but also to self-reflect and to think about the ways that I can better monitor my social media use, monitor the way that I present ideas to the world, and just focus on things that matter. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll delete this one too. I think I might delete everything, to be honest. This is something that I always used to do. I used to always post things about, personal life, about love. I was like, oh, I think back in the day, I used to post stuff like, oh, I was so lonely. Like these memes that kind of allude to mental health stuff. And I feel like it might be cathartic for some people, but it's kind of cringe too, to be honest. Delete. This is something that I think is maybe positive. I used to post a lot of Marcus Aurelius quotes, things that actually I think are a positive change. That's good, but I guess I'm just auditing my old Facebook posts, trying to go see some cringe. I don't know. I think I'll leave this. I just feel like stupid memes. I don't know. I feel like all this is it was kind of a waste of time. But at the same time, it can bring lighthearted stuff to conversations. But yeah, I don't know. Facebook just kind of sucks. So, okay, so here I am on my Facebook activity log, going through all my posts. And there are so many that I realize I'm not going to keep. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete everything. Like, delete all my posts, because I'm not going to use this site anymore. I feel like... I kind of posted stuff that I think has some kind of value, but a lot of it was just nonsense, too. I posted memes that were kind of not offensive, but just dumb. Let's see. Post a lot about gaming. Never stopped that. So actually, I appreciate that Facebook has this ability to delete all the posts. So yeah, going through some of these, for example, I just feel like it's not. For example, I got this one that rants against the law of attraction. I just I don't feel like I need to keep all of this. I usually keep stuff that I think is good, but for that I already have YouTube. I guess I'm still gonna use Instagram for a while, but Facebook, I don't know. There's just something about it that I think just doesn't add anything to my life, especially when all the other social media sites already take my attention. So I'm doing this for my mental health and my mental clarity too. Let's see, what else do we have? Yeah, a lot of posts. I used to post a lot. Like this, when you see how much you post a day, how much you scroll, because back in 2023, I scrolled a lot. Not only Instagram, but Facebook. It was like a double whammy. I'm lucky I never used TikTok, but still, I feel like it's important to just keep your mind clear, your habits clear, and this is a testament to that. So let me see. Yeah, back when I was a lot into science. I think there's a lot of cringe posting too. The earlier you get. But Jesus, once you see how much you post every day, it really puts things into perspective. And this is part of why I want to detox from social media. Let's see. Also, back in the day, I used to post a lot against religion. That's back when I was like the edgy Reddit atheist. And I was also vegan, so I posted a lot about veganism and, meat is murder and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's all going away. Actually, I really appreciate Facebook having this this option. But yeah, this is just stuff I just don't want online. Again, going back to the same point I did before, sites like Facebook, Twitter, they're just geared towards immediate thoughts, It's like, oh, I just thought this, I'm gonna post it. And I feel like that's kind of a toxic mentality to be in. Man, this goes way back. This goes way back. Just opinions nobody really pays attention to. This is reason for hope. Nothing would be happier this year to seeing Putin finally gone from power, posting about the Ukraine war. Yeah, that kind of stuff. It's just back in 2021 is where the real cringe starts. I don't even want to go into this. Let's see, grand share to post. Life is pain. Ooh, wonder what that contains. And here's another point about Facebook that I don't think I went on earlier, but I feel like the idea that having all your information out there, all your friends, all your contacts, basically public. I mean, I think there's ways to make it not public, which is what I'm going to do next, and also advice. That's important, but it's just like there's something sinister about it that I can't land my finger on. And that's why I want this to just not exist anymore. All right, that's it. Because I'm going to choose all the posts. All right. All selected. Good. Awesome. Crank Keegan updated his status hentai. I don't even want to know what that means. I don't even want to know what that means. All right. Trash. Move to trash. These posts will not appear in your profile. You want to manage posts you share in other places. Move to trash. Yes. It's probably going to take a while. Might take some time to process all your changes. All right, good. Well, there you have it. These are some of the reasons why I hate Facebook. And to be honest, there are some positive things. Like, this sounds like a video where I was going to delete my account, where I was just going to send it to the shadow realm like Twitter and Reddit. But I think there are some positives when you use Facebook correctly. And one of those positives is, like I said before, staying in touch with friends and family. That's something I recommend doing because there are people in my life that I can connect only through Facebook. So that is important for me. But other than that, I feel like all the posting, all the all the nonsense. It's not to say that social media is inherently evil, or like any technology is not. For example, artificial intelligence is not inherently evil. The internet is not inherently evil. It's just the way you use it. And I feel like the main lesson I want people to take away from this video is don't let yourself use social media in a bad way that affects your mental health negatively. But yeah, I think this is part of the plan. I'm still gonna purge a lot of my social media accounts. A lot of the digital trail that I leave online is something that I contains a lot of things that I just posted without thinking about consequences and all that. That is something important, and that is something that as you make your life better, as you improve as a person, it makes sense to just minimize your stuff. And that's something that can also apply with the media you consume, your habits, for example, drinking, alcohol, drugs, anything, pornography, whatever is affecting your mind. Sometimes the solution in life is just to opt out. And yeah, and that's something I also want to plan to make more videos on, just my personal philosophy and the way I think about life. I feel like this is all valuable. So yeah, anyways, that's the way that I'm going to go about using Facebook. And who knows, maybe Instagram will be the next one tomorrow, and the other social media sites as I become more minimalist, more mindful with my decisions. But yeah. Also, finally, before I end this video, I want to give a small update to my YouTube channel. I know that I haven't posted that much in 2025, but that is because I'm planning a lot of cool stuff. I got a new YouTube channel and a business where I'm starting to make 3D printed props, for example, swords and cosplay armor, helmets, props for, cosplayers. That's something that I really, really enjoy. It's something that's very fun. So if you want to check out that, I'll leave the link in the description. But yeah, that's everything for today. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you around. And once again, don't let social media dominate your life. That's all my advice for today. See you guys later.